I recently had the privilege of interviewing Gabriele Sorrento, CEO of Mindesk and Director at Vection Technologies, a virtual worlds company that's aiming to disrupt the way we collaborate at work across many different market sectors and verticals, from fashion to automotive to large industrial design. During the interview, he walked me through some of the amazing capabilities they're developing, and then he put on a VR headset and walked me through a live demo. So, I hope you enjoy this exclusive interview with Vection Technologies.
Well, Alex, first, thank you for inviting me to your channel. This is so exciting. Let me introduce myself. I'm Gabriele Sorrento, Director at Vection Technologies. And this company is innovating, actually disrupting the way businesses work. A lot of business across the globe are bound to physical operation, and some of them cannot participate the transition to remote work. I'm thinking of design and manufacturing companies. Everybody's going fully remote. The CEO of Twitter has announced that the whole company will be remote from now on forever. And Google, Microsoft, Salesforce announced something similar here in San Francisco. And what I can tell you is that Silicon Valley companies often set the trends for a company globally. And we're seeing company globally actually embracing more and more remote work. And this is not just about responding, of course, to the pandemic situation. Let's think about the fixed cost of having offices, or the possibility to hire talent from the best talent from abroad, or the possibility to increase your target market by reaching customers from a wider geography. Digital tools and collaboration tools are becoming a key strategic asset for a wide number of businesses. And as I was mentioning a few minutes ago, there's some of them that are struggling, in particular, those one bound into more physical activities. Like I'm thinking of AEC companies, like architectural construction companies who have to meet to discuss complex project, or manufacturer company. Think of like company that design home appliances. They spend a lot of time in building prototypes, then they use for taking important decisions, and they're currently struggling in virtualizing this process. So what Vection is doing is helping this company transitioning to the digital. So to make this happen, we created a 360-degree suite that covers the enterprise value chain from design and engineering stage up to later stage, including manufacturing, training, marketing, and sales and maintenance. So by covering the whole life cycle of products, all the operation of this company can finally go digital. And the great advantage of going digital is that now you can connect your operation and your asset to the cloud and make it collaborative and distributed. This sounds all very abstract, but I'll give you a few examples in a moment. These are just a few companies we work with, just to prove that even larger organizations are entering into the digital world and adopting augmented and virtual reality technologies, which usually are in the mind of people are associated with video games and entertainment. But as you can see from the name of the company we're working on, and I'm including like company like Lamborghini, Volvo, Zadid is a very famous architect. This is like every industry, and this is the proof that even this huge organization are really moving forward to adopt this forefront technology of AR, VR to use for work, to use for like being productive. Some of the vertical we are covering includes construction, automotive, naval, even industrial design or oil and gas. So we're really talking about the most heavy, extreme possible use case you can think of. we've been able to demonstrate that the adoption of AR, VR, and cloud can generate significant return on investment. We'll build some model. From this standpoint, even if we are a tech company, have this consultant approach with our client, because we really want to put them in front of the evidence of what the impact of this technology is. And we develop a number of use cases. This is a use case we developed for a client in the automotive industry. Can you see the video?
Yes, I can.
Hopefully the fluidity of the video shows you that, like, in one click it's possible to jump directly from the original CAD model into the augmented reality and mixed reality. And it's possible now to change in real time. To get this result, and I'm stopping a moment, we basically built a technology that for the first time is able to activate a bidirectional live link between the virtual reality headset and the professional CAD software. Just to put the things in context, before this real-time technology, what professional had to do to visualize project in 3D was to export the model into some graphic engine, spend a few hours in optimizing the model and rebuilding and make it compatible, and they could finally then experience the immersive model. But then, of course, a CAD project is dynamic. It always constantly change as the project moves forward. And every time, every iteration, they had to redo the data preparation and conversion. Well, with this platform that we're developing, we call it Mindesk, this process is automated. So designers from architecture, manufacturing, naval, you name it, can now work directly their project inside the mixed reality environment, which means they can work at different scale. They can see the project from the larger picture in reduced scale, or scaling 1-to-1, as if it was already built, as you can see from the video, and keep the interaction. So now they can move, remove parts, change geometry, change model, everything in real time.
And he's walking around and actually working on this model in real time? Yeah, that's what we're seeing here. This is awesome.
And he's perceiving the shape, the material, and the impact of this object in a real context. So this is very powerful. So we're working with a number of partners. The video I just showed you was showing the Vario headset being produced in Europe, but we are also working with Microsoft integrating the HoloLens 2 platform. And there are several use cases. We've been exploring use cases in the automotive industry, AEC industry, and we've been exploring ways to collaborate remotely. So we made this platform multiplayer. Let me just show you a very quick video. So in the multiplayer session now, you're not only connected to the original CAD software, but you're also connected with your peers. So you can see each other as avatars, discuss as like you were in a conf call, but also having access to the full 3D model immersively, which enables interacting with the model, leaving notes, changing parts live. It's like being this like virtual workshop where you're actually handling the bike without having the bike to even exist.
Yeah, this is incredible. You know, so just working with other people not in a space like this, I can't tell you how, frustrating it can be sometimes to just want to point to something and have somebody understand what it is you're pointing to in the model. And here, one of the users can literally just point to something, or it looks like you can even see what they're looking at. So you know exactly what they're talking about when they're talking about something to you while not in the same room, right?
Yes,
Like
yes.
even simple stuff like that, right, kind of gets lost when you don't realize, like, oh, you can see what Monica in this video is looking at.
Yep. And people think that VR is just for running bikes, but now what about designing bikes? That's actually possible, and that's happening. That's happening in some of the top, most advanced design companies. It could be happening even in someone of your audience company. It's just a matter of time. This is becoming the new standard. I just related to what you just said, I want to share with you a story that happened to one of our partners. So I was talking to this structural engineer from Milan. He works at huge infrastructure. Let me load another video, by the way, as we speak. He was working at this huge infrastructure with his colleagues, and one of them was referring to a component in the blueprint called the stick. Now, the stick in structural engineer is not well defined. That was like a jargon used by that particular team, and this this engineer in particular was not understanding. It was just a little rectangle in the blueprint, and it was like, what are you talking about? It turns out that stick was like a 12 meters diameter pillar going under the basement of the whole building, and was a critical part of the whole building. And when they analyzed this in a virtual environment, that was clear. There was suddenly he was able to understand the role of that particular stick that was undefined on a blueprint, that was extremely clear to understand in a 3D environment. So that's the difference of working with traditional 2D interfaces and as opposed to virtual reality. This can save hours, if not days, of wasted time and misunderstandings.
So this
And
is pretty incredible too. I apologize. I'm just looking at what's going on the screen while you're talking. So you're updating a 3D model in virtual space and interacting with a model in SolidWorks at the same time. Can you describe a little bit about that while we're seeing it?
it's basically these are two faces of the same medal. So we're tapping from SolidWorks original data in real time. So we are basically enabling to use SolidWorks in VR, locally or remotely, of course. We've been working very tightly with the SolidWorks team to make this happen natively, so without needs for conversions or other operations. What about making like a real simulation? Would you be down to that?
Yeah, let's try it. Yeah, for sure.
All right, fantastic. So let me just get my headset. I'll stop my screen sharing for a moment, and I will open up an architectural project.
So your solution is really useful across many different verticals. I noticed one of the first slides that you showed just while we're waiting for it to load, you had everything from automotive and industrial to naval and fashion on there. So really you're enabling collaboration across a wide variety of spaces, wide variety of verticals. And the thing that's tying them together is just this ability to interact in a virtual world around a physical product. Is that what, am I understanding the core technology fairly accurately?
Yes, that's what's happening, and we believe this is the number one disruption in the design space
Yeah,
happening right now.
that's
So I'm
amazing.
very proud. I'm very proud to have the opportunity to be working on this. This is a fairly simple AEC project. This is like a villa. So if you don't mind, I would be immersed in this villa, and we can do some architectural design together.
That sounds great.
Here we go. So now I'm standing from the same standpoint on the CAD software. So this is a fire pit in this living room. So let's say this villa is for you and your wife. Where would you need to move this fire pit? Do you want it somewhere else?
Yeah, why don't we move it to, I guess, like that far corner in front of the TV. I don't like TV anyway. I'd rather watch the fire pit.
All right, here we go. All it takes is taking this, whoop, bam.
Oh.
And then we adjust the rotation.
And so can you explain to me, so that looks great in the 3D model. And should we be seeing this update on the screen on the right here? Like, or do you have to save it once you're done interacting with it? How does that actually work between the two pieces of software on the left and right here?
So it's already updated. In fact, if I go here, yeah, I just had to shake it a little bit. But as you can see, this here, and we can see that the upper part has moved here.
Yeah, that's awesome. So really, you're just interacting with this space, just interacting with it, and the model on the back end is just updating as you change stuff. I assume you can work backwards and say, hey, I want to undo that change, and that's a one button press.
It works also the other way. So if I'm working on a CAD here, and I move this on the right side.
So it's a two-way link between the virtual world and the software that you're powering. That is amazing. Yes. Yeah, let's keep going. This is super cool.
Yes, and this enables for also a new way to interact. Let me show you a couple of visualizations that you can enable. So once you are in the VR space, you can enable other form of visualization. Let's say, for example, this. So now I'm cutting through the model, and I can evaluate the project at different level, from a vertical plane or horizontal plane. And this is like, architects do this all the time. It's very essential for the job they're doing. Another very important way to interact is the possibility to create annotation live. So let's say, for example, that you won't tell me to move this chair a little right. You can just draw an arrow with your hands and leave notes like right.
So can you, I assume there's way more to it than that, but what you're actually kind of describing is this ability to comment in 3D space. Like, I'm used to commenting code, right? People comment their models all the time, but you're showing like literal comments next to different pieces in this model, as opposed to just having a piece of CAD software with like a comment on one thing, right?
Yes, and this is much more intuitive and fast than working with 2D, and can democratize this technology, even extending to people that are not like exactly expert of CAD, like could be like, for example, a client. So let me stop the monitor. So yeah, in a few words, we can see this being an evolution of the CAD interaction. And CAD is at the very base of endless design and manufacturing processes. We can say that basically everything that is built has a 3D model behind it. So the opportunities are endless in this sense. And we're here to advance multiple verticals. In fact, this platform has been designed to be horizontally scalable on many industries, as I was showing earlier. So yeah, I hope I give you like a spotlight on what's happening in the world of real-time technologies.
That's truly incredible. Yeah, that was an amazing demonstration. I think it was super cool walking through some of those videos. Are there any other videos that you want to share with us that you think would really highlight the technology from a different way? So we saw a little bit about automotive and industrial. We saw a little bit about architectural. Is there an equivalent, for example, in fashion, which is sort of different than those two, or, furniture design? I saw some funky furniture designs. Is there another more artistic one as opposed to the, component-based design ones?
Now that you name it, there is actually a very nice video we presented at an event organized by Volkswagen. It's still in the automotive space, but shows you another angle of this technology. So when we talk about virtualization, we don't just talk about virtual reality, but it's the whole realm of virtualization, which include also visualization and photorealistic visualization. This is another key aspect when it comes to design. Being able to visualize in context with realistic materials and lighting effects. And that's exactly what we've been enabling. So using this real-time connection, we've been working with Unreal Engine, which again is very popular in the video game industry, but is being used also for professional application to visualize car model before they're even built. This car designer artist has been designing this LED pattern on the roof of this car, and the pattern is being changed in real time from the CAD software, and on the right side is visualized with realistic, physically correct lighting condition just immediately. And again, this is a process that was very long in the past, that we made it very, very, very short. So I think this is crazy. We've been working on this for the past 6 years.
It's amazing.
We've been working with the best players in the world, including NVIDIA, on this technology. And it's not a coincidence that NVIDIA has just invited me to be a keynote speaker at the GTC in a couple of weeks from here.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. Yeah, one of the things that my channel focuses on is disruptive innovation that by definition is cross-market, cross-industry sector, cross-geography. And what you just described is exactly that, right? Collaborative teams, regardless of the market, working together from across the world on a variety of widely different tasks. But the fundamental theme that's bringing them all together is being able to interact with a virtual version of their product and make changes that end up making physical changes, whether it's in a SolidWorks or CAD model or architectural design, or, I assume there's some fashion equivalent or some, as we just saw, the more artistic equivalent of that. So this sort of collaborative modeling, I think, is a no-brainer for a disruptive way to work together on new, very physical, very design-heavy products. This is awesome.
And again, now everybody is working from home. And companies are struggling to find ways to let people work from home, because this, like, when CAD software houses decided CAD software, they are abiding to models that comes from the 90s, where collaboration was still not a thing. So they're kind of hostage of this heavy heritage. And now we're introducing like cloud computing, GPUs, real time, to enrich existing environment. And this is another important aspect. Some certain software houses developing AR/VR solution are also creating standalone products that are addressed to creative people. Like think about like Tilt Brush, Google Tilt Brush, where you can draw 3D doodles in the space, and that's great for artists. But those software are kind of isolated, sealed in their own reality, and we follow a different approach. We follow an approach where we work with existing realities, existing established enterprise software. And this is also innovative as an approach. So we didn't go alone, but we look for involving and engaging with other companies to integrate their own product in virtual reality. So I think also this approach has been super interesting in the enterprise world. And frankly, this approach was much harder because we had to solve much more problems rather than creating like a standalone app. But on the long run, this is rewarding as we are seeing like real adoption in the industry.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when you design a product not in a vacuum and you think about real users and interact with them and, have them touch your product and iterate on it, seems like a no-brainer that that's the one that's going to get adopted over the one that got built in sort of a, back office somewhere with no real industry interaction. Virtual worlds are much more than just about video games. They're about the future of collaboration, which I think is truly incredible. Like, it definitely blew my mind the first time I saw this. So thanks so much for all of that.
Absolutely. I'm happy to do this. That's amazing. If you have any other question, or if someone in your channel, I don't know if you have like a live chat, or if you have any question or someone in your community asks question, please forward to me. I will be very happy to answer to anything.
So I'd like to thank Gabriele Sorrento and the rest of the team at Vection Technologies for showing us how virtual worlds are about to disrupt the physical one big time. This is Ticker Symbol U. My name is Alex, reminding you that the best investment you can make is in you.